Nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains of the Old North State, a small country back road in the area known as the Yadkin Valley would be filled with the sound of thunderous engines of moonshiners and federal agents during the Prohibition era. As these moonshiners would modify their cars, they would begin to brag about having the fastest shine runner around. The boasting would soon turn to competing, as other moonshine runners would soon want to prove they have the fastest vehicle in the valley. These competitions would soon turn into weekend events, as drivers from around the state would put their vehicles to the test on the old valley back road. As the years went on, newer vehicles with bigger engines and more aerodynamic designs would begin to show up on the track. The old moonshiners' vehicles would soon become a thing of the past. As the weekend events continued on, spectators would soon begin to show up and watch a spectacle that became known as stock car racing. As the competitions became stronger and the spectators became greater in numbers, a new kind of imagery would be showing up around the track: sponsorships. Over the years, the track would become bigger and greater in popularity as the track became known around the world. The track was a fan favorite at the height of the sport's popularity, but the track was starting to get old and harder to maintain. The sport became so popular, larger and more state-of-the-art venue locations were soon being built in other parts of the country. The track would soon eventually close its gates and be left behind as the sport outgrew its roots. Years would pass by and the track would slowly fall into disrepair, many believing that this was the end of the road for the old speedway and it would never see life again. However, in 2022, a new hope would be brought to the track as the sound of thunderous engines filled the Yadkin Valley once again.
Blue skies and Blue Ridge Mountains welcome you to the Old North State as we welcome you here to the Yadkin Valley, home of the Winston-Salem Racing Series and the Funkhauser Diecast Racing League. Welcome to the inaugural event of the 80's Stock Car Tournament. I'm your host, Funkhauser, up here in the broadcast booth, also known as the glorified Winnebago on stilts, as we welcome you here to the Old Yadkin Valley Speedway. The cars are lined up and ready to go today as we kick off this 16-car tournament. We will have two groups of 4 cars racing for the top 2 positions in each group that will move on to the next round. Each heat consists of 4 races. The scoring system is simple and makes for some competitive racing. 5 points for first place, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and 0 for a DNF. Now let's move on to these driver introductions. Kicking things off with Group 1, we have America in the 21 Ford Thunderbird, with Terry Fox in the Pontiac Grand Prix, Fireball Bill in the Ford Fairmont, and Max Lightning in the 89 Buick Regal. Let's get started with our first race. Starting us off in the inside lane is America, with Fireball on the outside as we get ready to go. Looks like America's going to take a nice lead at the beginning, with Lightning right behind him, giving him a nice little shove as we go into the corner. Right through the chicane, America still has a lead. Fireball is closing in on them, but looks like America and Lightning is going to be taking the first and second place, with Fireball second, and it looks like Mr. Fox is just going to barely make it across the line. Taking a quick look at the leaderboard, looks like America is at the top, followed closely by Lightning as we move on to race 2. Fireball and Fox are leading us off for race 2 as we are now underway. Let's see if Fox can pull himself up from that last place finish in the last race. He seems to be doing fine right now, being pushed by Lightning through the chicane, hanging on to that lead. Lightning's coming in right behind him. Can he give him a push and make the turn? No, looks like Fox is going to win with Lightning coming in second, Fireball and America coming in at the rear.
At the end of race 2, it's still anybody's competition, with Lightning only having a 2-point lead over the third place position. Second place is tied for 7 points. At the beginning of race 3, Lightning and Fox are going to be leading us off with this close competition. And it looks like Fox is going to keep that lead, but it looks like Lightning's not going to let him get away with it. He comes around, and there goes to the chicane. Very close, tight racing as we go to the third turn, bumping and grinding. And it looks like Lightning's going to make a quick pass underneath Fox, and is going to take the first place win, with Fireball coming in third. And it looks like America's going to pull in there for the rear. Let's take a look at the replay. Let's see some of that great driving as they come down to the second to last stretch. And it looks like Lightning is just going to make a nice little pass right underneath Fox and just going to make it right around him, pulling in and making it an easy win. That was a great little drive-in by Lightning. Back at the leaderboard, Lightning is still hanging on to that top spot with 13 points. Fox right behind him with 11 points. And Fireball and America are still tied for third with 9, heading into race 4. America's going to be starting up front, outside lane. Can he take advantage of his position and move on to the next round? Lightning's taking a commanding lead, and Fox and America are fighting for position, as it looks like Fox is going to take advantage of that inside of the chicane, and it looks like Lightning and Fox are going to end 1-2 and move on to the next round. At the end of competition for Heat Group 1, Max Lightning is our winner with 18 points. Right behind him is Terry Fox with 15 points. They will be moving on to the next round of competition. Now let's get started with Heat Group 2. Welcome back to the Funkhauser Diecast Racing League. I'm your host, Funkhauser, here trackside at the Old Yadkin Valley Speedway. I tell y'all, when it comes to stock car racing, the most exciting era that comes to mind is the 80s. The cars and the drivers of that time have reached legendary status, and we expect some exciting racing here today. With that said, let's go to the driver introductions for Group 2, where we hope to have some amazing racing action. Starting us off here in Group 2, we got Luke Showstopper in the number 3 1988 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, followed by Jay Moneymaker with a 1987 Chevy Monte Carlo. Then we got Bo Black in the 21 Ford Thunderbird 1989, and Clint Douglas also in a 1989 Ford Thunderbird. It's Ford versus Chevy as we go into Heat Group 2, Race 1. Moneymaker and Black are going to be leading us off here in the first race as we are underway down the back stretch. Moneymaker and Black are neck and neck as we head into the first turn down to the chicane. Showstopper's giving a push, but Moneymaker's giving another run for it. Looks like Black's giving a commanding lead, and looks like he's going to be all alone and heading into the finish with Showstopper right behind him. And it looks like Douglas and Black have come into a little bit of an accident and will not be able to finish this competition. At the end of race 2, Black and Showstopper are having a commanding lead over Moneymaker and Douglas, who are going to have to fight hard to get back into this competition. They're starting in the rear row of race 2. Can they make a big difference and get back into this race? Heading down into turn 1, Black has a commanding lead over the other drivers as we head into chicane. Oh, he flips over and we have a collision, multiple car collision, and it looks like Showstopper is the only one to make it through clear. He will make it to the finish as we have a triple DNF. Let's see the replay on that. Looks like Black is going just a little too fast, and he rolls over. He gets struck by Moneymaker, then hit again by Showstopper, and it looks like Douglas comes in and gives him just a little tap, but it's too much for him. He can't make it through. And as we move into race 3, Showstopper is going to be pulling away from the competition, with Black being the only other driver on the board with points. Can Douglas and Moneymaker make some moves to hopefully move on to the next round of competition? Here we go with race 3. Looks like Showstopper's going to have a commanding lead into the first turn, but it looks like Black's going to give him a hefty shove as we go into the chicane. And it looks like Showstopper and Black are going to be pulling away from the competition, but it looks like Showstopper's going to get the win. Oh, my Lord! Look at the move by Black right there at the last second. Check out the replay. Black just cuts him off right there at the end as they come across the competition. Black's going to come in first, with Showstopper coming in second. Moneymaker and Douglas finally making it onto the board. Well, it goes without saying that it looks like Showstopper and Black are going to be moving on to the next round of competition, but they're going to be stuck behind Douglas and Moneymaker here in race 4. Can Douglas and Moneymaker make some moves and show that they've still got what it takes to win a race? It looks like Douglas is going to have a nice little lead, but Moneymaker's not going to let him get away that easy as he takes the lead through the chicane. Douglas is going to get a nice push from Showstopper, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. We got beaten and banging, and it looks like Moneymaker is going to win the race with Douglas right behind him, and it looks like Showstopper is going to be limping to the end of the race.
Checking out the replay, Moneymaker makes a nice move through the chicane, and Douglas gets a push by Showstopper as we head into turn 3. Showstopper tries to make a move underneath Douglas, but he gets shut down. They all get loose and squirrely heading into the back stretch into the final turn, and it looks like Showstopper and Black get into it. Bo Black's car would come to a rest right there at the entrance of pit lane, unfortunately unable to complete the race, but he has enough points to move on to the next round of competition, as Luke Showstopper and Bo Black are going to be the winners of this competition, moving on to the next round. They will be joined by Max Lightning and Terry Fox, the winners of Group 1, as we move on to the next round of competition here in the 80s Stock Car Tournament. We hope you liked the action here at the Old Yadkin Valley Speedway, and if you like the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more racing action here at the Funkhauser Diecast Racing League, home to the Winston-Salem Racing Series. Stay tuned as there's much more competition coming your way.
You've been watching the Funkhauser Diecast Racing League.